Ladies and gentlemen, Asphalt Racing Network is back. Starting off with the American Stock Car Racing League. It has been a long-awaited return, and we are officially back and running for the next season for 3 separate leagues. American Stock Car Racing League is going to be the first one to join the Asphalt Racing Network for the 2026 year broadcast schedule, not the broadcast schedule. Broadcast schedule on your screen now. American Stock Car Racing League, the new home on Asphalt Racing Network, will be on Mondays about 9:05 to 9:15 for that green flag. That is the race you're watching right now. Then, of course, the Right Time ARCA Series on Wednesdays and the Right Time Truck Series on Thursdays. The Naris Cup Series and Truck Series will be here for Friday and Saturday about 8:40. That's a typo. 8:40 Eastern every week. So, of course, be sure to hang out for that because it is going to be a immaculate and a lot of fun. Looking at the field tonight, we have a lot of cars on track so far. Looks like a total of possibly 32 cars on the field for the entire night. A lot of last names are going to be butchered. That is completely understandable. Hopefully I don't get butchered after this. Of course, this is the Drive for Leukemia 250. We are battling the fight against leukemia here tonight. In the chat, if you are willing and available or able to, type exclamation point GoFundMe for the GoFundMe link. Excuse me. That is Bristol's GoFundMe link. The goal is almost met, but all donations will help that little girl out. She is 2 years old and has a heart of a soldier fighting for her health against leukemia. So if you have it and you are able to, please make sure you are able to click that link in the chat when you type an exclamation point GoFundMe. Right now, qualifying is underway. A lot of cars going on the track for the lone qualifying session now. We will see who's got the best times. We're going to roll through a few of these guys. Todd Poston, hopefully we're not butchering that name, currently in first place, still has yet to put a qualifying time down as he is starting the field. Tyler Hurt on the field tonight here, making his debut for the inaugural Season 1 for the American Stock Car Racing League. Chris Perry on the track as well, getting his qualifying time done now. Daniel Holloway driving a Ford, number 21. James Mandarood in the 25. Familiar name from the Right Time ARCA Series. 88 of Dylan Picklesmeyer on the track now, running a Chevy tonight. Joshua Riddle in a Ford, number 12. Just touching the track. American Stock Car Racing League's very own Dalton Gibson in the 17 Chevy tonight. Number 7 of Grayson Pate as well, getting his qualifying time done. Matt Banky in the 35, just set his first lap time. just to make sure, I know ad roll hit as soon as we went green here. We are at the drive for Leukemia 250 tonight. 2-year-old little girl named Bristol is fighting a battle for her health. If you have the means and the option to do so, type exclamation point GoFundMe in chat, all one word, exclamation point GoFundMe. It will give you the direct link where you can donate even $1. It all matters towards her fight for her health. We appreciate everybody joining us here tonight. It is going to be an action-packed night, I will tell you that. Another driver from Right Time on the track right now. That is the 44 of Jeffrey Bourne. I'll go ahead and throw it in the chat for you. That link right there is to help Bristol's fight to cure her leukemia. It is Daytona week across the board. American Stock Car Racing League will be at Daytona tonight. Right Time is at Daytona on Wednesday and Thursday. And the NARS Cup and Truck Series will be at Daytona on a multi-stream here and on YouTube. You can find that channel in the top right corner of your screen. Going forward, this Saturday, Daytona Speed Week is across the board, and I can't be happier than to be here for the first season of the American Stock Car Racing League, calling the take the entire way through. Let's get some appropriate music on. It's that time. The bells are tolling. Qualifying just a few moments away from being wrapped up. We'll go ahead and show you how much time we got left. There's about 1 lap to go for some people. We'll check the time left. 4 minutes, 25 seconds left in the qualifying grid. You are seeing their qualifying times on your screen right now. Rainey, if I was you, I would go out. There's only you and Brianna Laurent not on track, so I'd go ahead and get your qualifying time done now. Guys, if you are familiar with any racers here tonight, make sure to drop their numbers in the chat or drop their names to who you think will be walking away with the win here tonight. Long race to go. 19 to 23 laps of a fuel window. 100 laps here will be done tonight before we crown the first winner of the night. And of course, we will have a stage caution at lap 50 to give those drivers a little bit of a break. We've got a magnitude of teams here tonight. Candy Shack Motorsports with a 17 of Dalton Gibson. There's 21 of Daniel Holloway. 31 of Todd Poston. 97 of Tyler Hutt. And the 343 of Russell Hancock. Then for Shake and Bake Motorsports, we have Grayson Pate in the 7. Ethan Horst in the 15. Noah Davis in the 18. And Robert Duvenbach in the 99. Sandcastle Racing's very own Brianna Laurent will be in the 6 car here tonight. Then, of course, you have Matt Banky in the 35. James Manderud in the 25 and Kevin Leash in the 77. Minute 55 left in qualifying. Some guys still have to get their qualifying times done. Corey Rainey, coming off a Season 2 championship in another league, that is the NARIS Cup Series, makes his debut tonight on the Super Speedway at Daytona. Qualifying grid about set. Only one more car on the track, and that is the 6 of Brianna Laurent. Now, Brianna Laurent, the last one on the track to finish this time tonight. Ten seconds left in qualifying, and we will be in grid formation. Grid now officially set for the night. Drivers getting on that grid. You see the beautiful view from the sky here tonight. Dusk just turning around. Under the lights racing, we will be here tonight in a beautiful track in a beautiful state. Drivers have already had their pre-race meeting. They know what is expected out of them tonight. They know what is expected out of everybody else around them on the field tonight. Now, the biggest question is, who's going to be the biggest movers of the field? Are we going to have situations where some get wrecked out early and have to tow it back to pits and watch the race from the infield care center? Or will they be able to avoid some of those wrecks? Lights going out now means they will be starting their pace lap around. So we will throw the grid up on the screen for you now. Official grid tonight. Sam Taylor takes first place. Dylan Picklesmeyer in second. Dalton Gibson qualified in third. Outside of him is going to be Christian Rhodes. Daniel Holloway in fifth with Chase Greer in the sixth spot tonight. For Zach Stevens in number 7 spot with Corey Rainey in 8th. Todd Poston in 9th with Alan Hess. Grayson Pate starting in 10th. Alan Hess is in 11th. Ethan Horst starting in 12th. 13th is Eric Rodman. Then you have Tyler Hurt. 15th is Chris Perry with the 16th spot going to Gary Breland. 17th is going to be Russ Hancock. On the outside of him starting is going to be the 44 of Jeffrey Bourne. Then, of course, 19th and 20th, you got Jeremy James and Joshua Riddle. 21st is Robert McRae with Noah Davis on the outside starting in 22nd position. Stephen Aless in 23rd with Matt Benke in 24th. Kevin Elish, 25th with James Mandarud on the outside. Trevor Yates in 27th. Brandon Matthews on the outside of him in 28th. The last two at the back of the pack of the field here tonight are going to be the 29 of Brianna Laurent and the 30 of Matthew Wilson. Huge grid here tonight. Pace lights are off, signaling we are going to be going to green flag this time by. These drivers have been waiting for this moment. Here we go. Pace truck off. In the restart zone, flag stand gets the green flag. First lap of the Drive for Leukemia 250 is now underway. Great view of the track here tonight. You're seeing a lot of 2x2 racing still. Not many people have tried to find that gap to go low yet. You're going to see a lot of it happening slowly but surely at some point in time in the racing. It is going to be a draft race to save that fuel. It is going to come at a later date, most likely. You're not going to see them come in really early to that low line. They're going to try to run it out and figure out where their best spot to be is. But it is still going to be a tricky spot to find. As you see, a lot of that racing is tight there. You already see one go low in the fourth line. I believe that is Daniel Holloway. Leaders already blocked. Sam Taylor, top five, really hasn't changed much so far as we are now in the second lap. Stage break will be at lap 50. Once again, we appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. 29 concurrent viewers. We have barely hit 30 minutes on the stream. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. All of these streams will be re-uploaded to the American Stock Car Racing League's YouTube page. So be sure to find that page and give them a follow as well, as all of Season 1 will be compiled on there about 24 hours after the race. Right now, Dylan Picklesmeyer already to the lead, getting a good gap. Not going to be able to put too much of a gap. You see Sam Taylor swoop out to the outside, already making moves in the top two positions. You love to see it early. Great 2x2 racing so far, and it has been an immaculate 3 laps to date. Looking at a wide view, what we call the spotter cam, you see every car on track. Coming around to the restart zone now. Little wiggly, some of them are, but they're still trying to figure out who's in front. Now, when you're in these cars, let's see if we can go to a cockpit view real quick. Get your gyro cam on one of the cars in the middle of the pack. When you're inside of these cars, you don't get to see too much when you are directly bumper to bumper. A lot of these wiggles, this is an actual view from a driver helmet cam here. You don't get to see much around you. So you kind of have to go staggered sometimes to be able to see what the person in front of you is doing, why the draft pack is pulling you so fast. Is there a checkup or what is going on in front of you? So you will see a lot of these guys go staggered sometimes, like here in the corner, or it could be something where you're getting a little bit too loose or too tight because of that draft. Just depends on how that car is set up. But a lot of times you will see drivers go to a staggered line just to kind of be able to see what the competition in front of them is doing and where they need to be on the track as well. Right now, of course, following the 31 of Todd Poston, he is in 12th place, just outside of the top 10. Moves have been had within this area of the track. You've seen a lot of moves back and forth for first place right now. Picklesmeyer in the 88 Chevy, still in the lead. And while we're talking about the manufacturers, we'll go ahead and throw the manufacturers on the right-hand side of that track to the left-hand side of your screen. Almost a dominant Chevy top 10 so far, only 2 Toyotas and just a few Fords. Toyotas are heavily outmatched here so far tonight. Only about maybe 4 to 5 of them in this 30-car field. Really happening for moves. Everybody trying to get comfortable, get those tires worn in, make sure their lines are good to go. Really good fight from the front here. You see them side by side, 2 by 2. Picklesmeyer trying to hold that lead over the 17 of Dalton Gibson in second place. And you have Daniel Holloway now in third. That is the 21 on the low line, leading the pack. Just behind him is Chase Greer in the 40. There's already a wreck, huge wreck happening on the front straightaway. Going into that straightaway, first caution is going to be out on the night. At least 10 cars involved in that wreck. Bad situation to be in very early on there. That is going to hurt a lot of people's momentum, and there's going to be a lot of repair time there. We're going to go ahead and back it up just a little bit before that caution came out. Pay attention to the front of the field here, because this is exactly where it came out. Huge pileup, not many areas or lanes for drivers to get through pretty early on, and then it's going to hurt a lot of people's momentum for the first stage. It's still very early right now, and it's just an unforeseeable event. Some things happen that you can't control, that being one of them. We're going to go ahead and pull it back one more time. Looking at Dalton Gibson this time, he was in the front there. That was the 88 that went down low, trying to block that line or get the run, the being Dylan Picklesmeyer. Collected the 21 and caught at least 10 other cars. The big one already out at Daytona, only lap 7. Multiple cars involved. Right now we are seeing Ethan Horst, Hancock, Perry, Stevens, Yates, Gibson, just to name a few, involved in that wreck. We're going to see who goes into pits this time and how bad that damage really could be, depending on how long they stay in on pit road. Sam Taylor, Greer, Rhodes, all the way 1 through 10, and still going into pits 11th, down to 17th. Doesn't seem like anybody is staying out. They're all going in this time by. The biggest question is going to be who's going to beat him out. Christian Rhodes, Todd Poston, Noah Davis, then Chase Greer out. Brandon Matthews going by on the track. Everybody else still down pit road at this point in time. Side-by-side fight there to get out. Grayson, Peyton, Manderud beating each other out of pits. Looking at our grandstand cam now, you still have a lot of drivers in pits. 15th through 29th, all in pits at this point in time. Majority of them have already been in for about a minute long. Jeremy James has been in for about 2.5 minutes. Dalton Gibson almost encroaching 3 minutes. And Zach Stevens now at 3 minutes and 31 seconds. He did get a tow to pits, so that is going to cost him a lot of time. He's going to have to wait a minimum of 3 minutes just to get back into pit road before they can start fixing any damage on that car. So it's going to hurt him for a little bit there. Most of the field right now rejoining behind the pace truck, single file, as we are waiting to regroup all together before we do choose cone. If you're just joining us, first caution of the night already out. We have already had the big one here at Daytona. And when we say big one, we mean the big one. Go ahead and look back at the wreck one more time. Huge pileup on the field in the middle of a turn. Nowhere to go for most of those drivers. A lot of drivers having to take damage, repair in pit road. And I believe at this point in time, we still have at least one car down pits. That being Eric Rodman. Eric now just getting out of pit road, rejoining the field. All 31 cars seem to be back on the field. Now as we pace around, waiting to go green as the pace truck lights are off, signifying we are back green this time. Pace truck should be making that left-hand turn just about now. And back into the restart zone. They go green. Christian Rhodes takes us back to green flag. Now while they're just getting back up, a crank it up session. From one of the drivers. As always, we're having an issue with trading paints. The isn't perfect. Needs to be. There's always problems. Says it's up and running. Now right now, Christian Rhodes in the lead. Todd Poston in second place. Noah Davis in third. James Mandaroon in fourth. Stephen Elise in fifth place. Rounding out your top five right now. A lot of drivers having to recover from that wreck. Looking back, sitting at the top 10 spot. We can try to refresh him again. Bear with us if you're watching right now. We're going to try to refresh the graphics for the drivers on track. Some aren't updating for some reason, but that's okay. Things happen. Sitting just at the top 10 spot right now, Chase Greer in the 40. He was one of the few in that wreck earlier on with the 88 of Dylan Picklesmeyer. Now he is all the way up to 8th place so far. Robert a little bit of a touch there on the low side. That didn't look to be too good. Believe that might be the 3 car of Alan Hess. Came down just a little bit too much to the 69 of Robert McRae. McRae able to maintain the low side and back up. So no wreck there. That was a pretty good wreck avoidance from the 69. Now looking a little bit further back. Trevor Yates sitting in 13th place right now. He's gained 14 spots. Overall on the night. Gains you can see on the right-hand side of your timing tower on your screen. Yates is up 15 so far on the night. Leish in 13th, sitting just behind. He's up 11 to the night so far. Brianna Laurent, you saw her start in the last line of the 30-car field. She is now up in 18th place. Positive 11 positions from where she started. Going back up to the front right now, Christian Rhodes, leader at lap 16. Nine car of Sam Taylor up front trying to make some moves to get up to the top of the pack. Top line doesn't have much momentum right now. They're trying to stack up on the high side and get that run going. They're about 4 car lengths back from the leader right now. There's only about 5 cars, maybe 6 cars up on that top side. We've seen it work. If you were watching, if you came over from the NARS page on Saturday, they made a 4-2 car line on the outside work. It was an insane thing to watch, but it is possible here that side draft will really tote you all the way up to the front. It's the fact of can you hold it and make it work. Right now, that high line is really falling off. Sam Taylor being the leader of that top side line. You're seeing him fight with a 23 on the inside, trying to gain that position back up. Not working too well right now. But that is a situation that is going to have to slowly develop over time. If that high side can actually get to churning, it'll get to burning a few laps together. They'll make it back up to the leaders. Right now, not working out for them. Christian Rhodes still in your leader spot right now. A lot of single file racing in the front. A little bit of a gap between the top 3 cars to the rest of the field. You've got Rhodes could kind of pull away here with an advantage. Low line is long now. The 9 is actually getting a lot of steam. Sam Taylor back up into 3rd now. It is going to be tricky here for them to get in. They're going to have to pass the line, or is Sam Taylor going to dive down to take that lead position once he gets clear? We'll see in just a few moments if he can get past the number 1 of Christian Rhodes. Lap 20 this time. Taylor still trying to gun it up to the front, almost at the 4th spot for 2nd place. But of course, you know, you don't shoot for 2nd, you shoot for 1st. He does dive down though, smart decision, leaves that high side out to dry. Now is the 40 of Greer going to use that on the 9 getting some side drafts and actually take the lead for himself, putting Taylor another spot down from where he could have been. Or will Taylor go back up to that high side and try to get that momentum back? You're seeing a lot of cars go to that outside now to try to get that run to work. Will he be one of them as well? Taylor is now locked in at the door with the 40. Greer not going to let him get back up. Now it's going to be a fight for first if they can close that gap down behind the 71 of Yates. Huge gap open. The 40 of Greer just jumped inside. 71 hit on the low side, trying to dive down, and another huge caution comes out here on lap 19. And with that caution coming out, we're going to go to a picture-in-picture for our Twitch Premium subscribers, and we will be right back with a commercial break.
Experience the world's most legendary racing events with iRacing. iRacing special events allow any member to compete in full-length multiplayer races based on some of the biggest events in motorsports all year round. Compete in virtual endurance races such as the Daytona 24, Spa 24, and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Take on some of the toughest races on the NASCAR schedule, such as the Daytona 500. We have events from disciplines all across the racing world, from the Indianapolis 500 to the Chili Bowl, from the Bathurst 1000 to the Crandon Championship. Our endurance special events utilize iRacing's team feature, where members can sign up and race together on their own team, swapping drivers throughout the race. Other events utilize iRacing Super Sessions, where you're not only racing against those on track, but against every driver taking part. And as every race progresses, watch and feel the track change with progressive time of day, dynamic weather and rain, and dynamic track debris and surface changes. Take on your favorite discipline or try a brand new racing challenge with our biggest races of the year, the iRacing Special Events. Learn more at iracing.com/special-events.
We are back from a quick commercial break there. Dalton, we appreciate the sub during the commercial break. That is a good way to see what is going on the track, even when we go to commercial, because we always go side by side action for our commercial breaks. If you are a Amazon Prime member, you also have one free sub a month. So if you already haven't used it, you also have that availability instead of having to click that sub button. Right now, you saw that wreck, huge wreck again. Second caution of the night. Right now, Christian Rhodes and Sam Taylor in line one. Sam Taylor in the 9 car on the inside, going to be taking us back to green flag in the restart zone once the pace truck is off the field. Just behind them is going to be Chase Greer and Dylan Pickelschmeyer, Noah Davis and Russ Hancock. And then Todd Poston, Joshua Riddle. Running at your top 10 will be Alan Hess and Brianna Laurent. Going back up to the top of the field now. Pace truck lights are off, signaling we are going back to green flag racing, this time by. Same spot as always. That truck will make that left-hand turn. Just a few seconds to get back into pit lane. Sam Taylor takes us back to another green flag. This is the drive for Leukemia 250. In honor of a 2-year-old girl named Bristol, who is battling leukemia at this point in time. There is a GoFundMe link that is pinned in the chat if you are able to give me a donation. It is very meant. Excuse me, it is very mindful and means a lot to the family. That GoFundMe link is pinned in the chat. It is not mandatory, but it does help the little girl get her full extent of her life back. The 9 of Sam Taylor still in the lead right now. Hancock on the high side, 3:43. Trying to make it work. You've seen it earlier. The outside line does work. They can get up to the front. But will it be Hancock's turn now to try to get up to the front? The 18 of Davis is pushing from behind. Trying to get him back up to the front. A lot more cars than there were last time. Few cars actually tailed off in the back end. Believe that's a lot further back. Might be the 77 in that pack, possibly the 34 as well in that pack. Jeffrey Bourne and Corey Rainey falling off a little bit further behind them. Matt Banky in that pack with the 35. He is a lap down at this point in time, as well as Jeffrey Bourne, Stephen Elise, Dalton Gibson, and Matthew Wilson. I don't think Wilson's touched the track. No, he is not. Sam Taylor holding this lead strong right now. A lot of single file racing you've seen tonight, and it is a fuel game. Lap 50, we will have a stage break caution. Now, mind you, like we said earlier tonight, it's only about a 19 to 23 lap fuel window. Being in that lead position, you're going to use a lot more gas up than the cars behind you. The further back in that draft pack you are, the more gas you're going to save per lap. You're not having to be 100% in your throttle. Now, with these next-gen cars, they are very gas conservative in the draft, especially at a restrictor plate track like Daytona. Echo Park Homestead, Miami. You were able to save a lot of draft here, including Talladega as well. Draft saves fuel, but it also could put you in a bad position when it comes down to a wreck. I've seen a lot of cars be bumper locked so far tonight, not be able to negate that wreck due to the fact of them being so close together. But that is the cost you pay at the super speedway. Looking at them passing on the ground that time. Throw back to if he wants to hold that line, was trying to run about a mid-line. Could have gotten draft tight there, arrow tight as they call it, which could have pushed him up. But another wreck on the back end of the field. I think that was Chris Perry. Caution number 3 is out. Now, I believe it might have been Chris Perry alone that wrecked there that time. We're going to see, back it up just a little bit more there. I believe that is the 6 car of Brianna Laurent. Got the 34 of Perry. Nobody else on the track really affected as much as Perry. Seems like he might have had a engine blown on that. Gonna have to possibly tow it back to pits unless he can limp it all the way down. We're gonna go to the cockpit view and watch that wreck one more time in slow-mo. And see, that was something that he didn't even see coming because it happened on the left inside. Sent him all the way to the infield. He managed to save it, not going back up on track. But still, that's going to cost him a lot there. .34 Perry managed to get it back down to pits. Did not need to get it towed, and that really helped him out there. That just saved him 3 minutes of time before that car was even able to get touched. Perry with a stop and go back out. Sam Taylor gets out of pits in time to still hold the lead. Picklesmeyer in the 88 in second. Christian Rhodes in third. Chase Greer in fourth. Rounding out your top 5 is the number 12 of Joshua Riddle at this point in time on the boards. Few people still in pits. Alan Hess now leaving. Corey Rainey still in pits. Rainey's been in pits for about 32 seconds, probably trying to get some more damage off of that car. If there was any in the first wreck. Tyler Hurt still in pits. Jeffrey Bourne. Trevor Yates. Matt Banky now just coming in, as I believe he got his lap back. Kevin Alish in the 77. That was the car that was also involved with Perry. He is still in pits at this point in time. Still a few cars a lap down right now. 22nd through 29th, all a lap down. Sam Taylor, your current leader. As they should be doing a choose cone this time by. Sam Taylor chose the inside. Possibly a wise move, too, to make. First race here for the American Stock Car Racing League. We're at the third caution of the night right now. Looking at your race recaps so far. Sam Taylor in the lead. This is the third caution for 8 laps under caution so far. And crazy to say, but only 5 lead changes to this point in time. Weather here at the track as well. 70 degrees Fahrenheit. No wind here tonight. Clear skies with 81% humidity. Of course, at this point in time, rubber has to be building up on that track, which is going to make a big difference on that high side line. Now, pace car will be off. Sam Taylor takes us back to green flag racing in the restart zone one more time. Picklesmeyer gets low behind Taylor. 88 was up here earlier tonight. Sam Taylor qualified in first as well as Picklesmeyer. Top score, we appreciate the donation. We do appreciate the donation. You do not know how much that will help that family out in need. Thank you for your generosity and your support. That is a good question. I do not know exactly how many fast repairs they are allotted. I know they have an unlimited set of tires. I do not know about the fast repair. There are no restrictions on tires, so there might not be restrictions on the fast repairs due to it being a super speedway league. I could be wrong on that. Do not quote me on that. Right now, Sam Taylor passes the line to take the start of lap 34. 50 will be our stage break. 3 cautions on the night so far. Field kind of going back to single file once again right now, going through your top 5. Sam Taylor, Picklesmeyer in second, Christian Rhodes in third, Gary Breland in fourth, 5th place Joshua Riddle. In 6th, you have the number 3 of Alan Hess. Robert McRae in 7th. Noah Davis in 8th. Brianna Lauren in 9th now. Up 20 positions on the night from where she started in the rear of the field. One of the highest movers of the night so far within the top 10. Manufacturers within that top 10, mostly a Chevy dominant pack right now. 2 Toyotas and only 1 Ford within the top 10 so far. Taylor still holding the lead strong. Huge gap starting to build. behind this first pack. That could really hurt those drivers on lap times due to fuel. The farther they fall off pace, the more it could hurt them in the long run. Trying to manage that fuel and save that fuel. Of course, this is a huge pack up front. They're going to pull away from them pretty fast, and when they start doing that, it is going to really not allow them to try to be able to save. They're going to have to do everything they can to try to get back up into that pack. You see the 97 of Tyler Hurt, 31 of Poston, 21 of Holloway, slowly starting to regain. They all went single file there. They knew what they needed to do if they still wanted to fight for the lead. Good racing so far, minus the 3 cautions we've had. Those are racing incidents that we expect to happen. Picklesmeyer now your leader over Christian Rhodes. Sam Taylor has fallen all the way to 4th place right now. That could be a strategy move. He was in the lead there for a few laps. Doesn't want to burn that gas being the leader. Right now, the lead doesn't matter. The lead matters when you're at lap 95. And we are getting word in the chat only one fast repair was allotted for the drivers tonight. So one fast repair on the night. Some possibly still haven't used it. And unlimited tire sets for the remainder of this race. Two by two racing from this front pack right now. And it has been good racing up here so far all night. Now they're going to go side by side for the lead. Gary Breland going to be able to edge over on the top side in that 23 Xfinity car. One of Rhodes giving a good bump to the 88, but it's not working out right now. That high line's getting a lot of momentum moving. Will Breland move down? And does. 88 goes up off the track. 2 cars into the wall. Another caution out on the night. Carnage on the field. Just at the start and finish line. We're going to go back and watch. We saw that start with Dylan. Picklesmeyer straight into the wall. And then carnage all around them in the front. Now we're going to be following Trevor Yates. He got bumped in the back end as well. Spun around in that wreck. And here's the wreck going to the start and finish line. Not too many cars involved that time. Not as bad as the first big one we had of the night for the first caution. That almost had everybody in the field tore up in the middle of a turn. coming to that straightaway. Seems like they're wanting to give those fans in the grandstand their money's worth here tonight. They keep wrecking closer and closer to that start and finish line. Just a little bit of a wrong move, and you see what it can cost. A lot of cars in pitch right now. Alan Hess comes out as the leader. Alan Hess did not pit. Joshua Riddle did not pit. All the way down to Ethan Horst. These guys have not pitted since lap 30. 10 to 11 laps ago, our top 5 said they don't need to pit. We just made it on gas. We'll make it to the end of the 50 lap stage 1 break. But it also can be costly. They might be waiting for another caution. You don't get many laps here. You only get about 23. But with 10 more laps to go, that will hold them on. That leader might be just pushing it on laps. With gas left in that tank, it could be a very close one for that leader unless he cycles himself out before it happens. Still a few people in pits this time. Grayson Pate still in pits as well. Tyler Hurt. Chris Perry now joining Tyler Hurt as well on the track. Trevor Yates in the 71 still in pits. Brandon Matthews just behind. And the 77 of Kevin Leash as well still in pits. Not a good situation for those cars as they've already used their fast repair. And as the leaders cross the line, they're going to go a lap down or another lap down if they already were a lap down. If you are just tuning in, welcome to the American Stock Car Racing League's Drive for Leukemia 250 at Daytona, presented by Asphalt Racing Network. This will be the new home of ASCRL going forward for the entirety of Season 1. So be sure to hit that follow button, turn your notifications on, and if you can, subscribe to the channel so you don't have to watch the Twitch ads. You get the non-stop picture-in-picture for the entirety of the race. As of right now, Joshua Riddle in first place. Alan Hess, line 1. Holloway and Hancock, line 2. Horst and Taylor, line 3, with Chase and Greer, line 4. Line 5, rounding out the pack, is going to be Breland, Stevens, and Poston. Pace car gonna go off this time by. Back to the restart zone we go for Hess. Green flag out once again. Eight more laps to go here for the stage break. 21 already trying to make a move to the outside. Holloway now cycles to the lead. Good move there. Jumps back down to get his position locked in comfortably. Now Breland on the bumper of Holloway. Gotta wonder if Breland's going to try to make his move anytime soon. Breland has a little bit of a gap there now. On the 21, could be setting up for a high side run. Doesn't look like it though, as he's going back in. Couldn't get the bump in time on that rear bumper going into the turn. Wise idea to pull yourself out. Don't want to bump in the turn if they can't handle it and to possibly cause a wreck. Definitely don't want to be the cause of a wreck. You don't want to be in the wreck either. But being a cause of the wreck is even worse. Everybody rolling steady right now. Lap 45 of 150 will be the stage break. Holloway still in the lead. Allen Hess in third. Banky in fourth. Horst in fifth. 2x2 racing here. With the 18 and the 47 in 6th and 7th place. They are 3 wide in the back end now. 3 wide cleared out. They went back to 2x2. Good racing from these folks on the track here tonight. Definitely giving you guys at home a show. Now, Holloway and Breland kind of pulling away from the pack here, but they are fighting. Stevens says not tonight. Gives a really good push to Breland. Puts him into the lead. They are still bumper locked. Got to watch out for that. In the corners, that definitely can cause a spin. Breland going to go back down low. Now it's going to be Stevens and Breland fighting for the lead. Side by side going past the line. 3 more laps to go. Breland's getting a really good run now. Holloway, of course, gets the lead back. Breland trying to get back to the rear bumper of Holloway does, but now you have the 3 car of Hess on the outside trying to make his run. They are 3 wide about line 5. And maintaining that 3 wide as well into the corner. 1 backed out. Lot of maneuvers going on right now on the field. Corey Rainey just behind, trying to make his run up to the front. Doesn't really have much room to go on the high side other than pushing at this point in time. Going back up to the leader now. 3 more laps to go. He's got a decent jump. They're going to have to really pull it together on that low side if they want to make a run to the high side for the leader. Will Breland go back up high? Possibly not, because there's not really much of a line there to do so with right now. Two more laps to go now. Holloway still your leader. Breland now on the bumper. Gives a good shove to the 21. 15 looks like he's going to be going to the outside. It's about to be a dogfight for the lead. There is a huge run behind from the 47. No one able to make the move. The 21 still the leader this time by at the line. 1 more to go for the stage. Green checkered flag will be out this time by past. Who will get the run? They're really starting to thin out on the back half of the line here. Top line slowly but surely is just falling apart at the seams. Lap traffic in front now. This is going to make a difference. 47 if Stevens goes to the high side, get the position. Holloway stuck behind lap traffic, wrecking the backfield. They were able to save it. Stevens in the lead at this point in time, passes the line for the stage 1 win. Caution is out. Stevens is your stage 1 winner. Incredible fight there that time. Great run to be able to make that work. We're going to go back and watch that one more time. This is exactly where Stevens made the room. 21 tried to get up. Stevens was in his line. 21 got pushed back down under those lap traffic cars, and they could not make a run to get him back. He passes the line for stage 1. And while they're at a stage 1 break, we will take a quick break, and we'll be right back for the American Stock Car Racing League Drive for Leukemia 250. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back has that still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. It's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
You got a great car, great team. Let's go execute. Start time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are won't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance. Gonna stay down, baby. Let's go. Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can. Get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Run here to the end.
It is all on the table. A total 500.
And we are back here. Stage 1 officially in the books. Zach Stevens was your stage winner. He was not able to get out of the pits in time to hold that lead. So the lead goes back to the 88 of Picklesmeyer. This time by on the line, he will be taking us back to Green Flag Racing. Pace truck lights are off. You know what that means. A left-hand turn is a-coming. Now in the restart zone, we go back to Green Flag. Hit it with a little bit of crank it up. Turn those phones and your TVs up and listen to these engines roar. Caution out again. 6th caution of the night. Caution came out during Crank It Up. Seems to be Chase Greer involved in that wreck. We're going to go ahead and back it up and watch his point of view. Everybody else just missed him almost perfectly. See what happened in slow-mo. The 9 goes up into the wall, comes back down into the right rear quarter panel of Greer. Corey Rainey just dodges the wreck entirely. That's going to spin out Chase Greer to the outside wall, and he's looking backwards into traffic. Then there goes the 73 of Jeremy James to add some insult to injury, as James really had nowhere else to go on the track. Go to the cockpit view for James, see his point of view for this wreck. And just a slight wrong move situation, thinking that you're going to be clear on that low side, but always cannot forget as a driver here, those embankments will always wash that wreck back down low, and you'll unfortunately catch yourself in all of the misfortune as you saw James do there. It's a very unfortunate situation to have to catch yourself in. But it's just those last-minute split decisions you have to make as a driver on a very difficult track to maneuver during a wreck that sometimes it just doesn't benefit you. Picklesmeyer still your leader at this point in time. Zach Stevens, your stage 1 winner, in second place now. Posted in third with Breland in fourth. Corey Rainey now moves himself up to 5th place. And Gary Breland, one of the highest movers within the top 5. He is up 12 positions on the night so far from where he qualified. Not many crazy high movers. They're all about around the same distance. Gary Breland, Joshua Riddle, and Noah Davis are all plus 12 positions from where they qualified. Brianna Lawrence sitting in 14th place right now, just rejoining the field from pits. She is plus 15 from where she started tonight. Now, some of our tough breaks include Grayson Pate, who is in pits right now, down 17 positions from where they had started on the grid tonight, as well as Sam Taylor in pits as well, that 9 car, down 16 positions. Chase Greer as well, you just saw involved in that wreck, down 10 right now, as well as Dalton Gibson in the 17 on track right now, down 10 positions, but it is still early on. We were only at lap 56. If those cars remain in the race by lap 100, they will have the opportunity to make a lot of a net gain from what they've lost so far. But right now, Picklesmeyer staying in his gridded position. He's up by 1. He started in second, finds himself in first. This is not the first time he has led this race back to a green flag or has led the race in general. Right now, looking, we'll throw that graphic up on the screen for you. Picklesmeyer has led 11 laps on the night so far. Zach Stevens has only led 4 laps. Todd Poston has not yet led a lap, but sits in a good position to try to do so. Gary Breland in 4th has led 1 lap on the night, and Corey Rainey, rounding out your top 5, has not touched the lead at all himself tonight. So a lot of people within this top 5 have felt the lead. They have felt what it feels like to have this pack push from behind. They have also known what it feels like to push the pack from in front. So now, with a few more people touching this top 5 spot that haven't touched it before, will we possibly see a new leader within a few short moments, or will we have to wait a few more laps to do that? Johnny, we appreciate the 100 bits. Thank you guys for the donations. Make sure, if you are able to, go to the pinned message in the chat and donate there. That is to fight Bristol's fight to cure her leukemia. That is a 2-year-old girl in a battle with leukemia right now. It is looking on the up and up with the last update they posted on that GoFundMe. But even if it's $1, 50 cents, if you have it, please find it in your heart to make sure that you can donate. All funds go directly to the medical expenses and for the family's expenses to possibly get that fight out of sight. Pace truck lights are off, signaling we are back to green flag once again, this time by. Let's get you that good restart camera here. Pace truck off. Picklesmeyer taking us back to green flag in the restart zone. Green flag is out. Here all the cars go down, passing the flag stand. Beautiful fan cam from the middle row of the grandstands. We'll watch them go around to the back of the pack. Back of the field with the back of the pack there. And just a beautiful view of this track at night. Now, Dylan's still in the lead at this point in time. 42 more laps to go in stage 2 before we crown the first winner the inaugural Daytona race for the American Stock Car Racing League. They also have a NASCAR 25 League as well. Unfortunate, we are not able to broadcast that due to the fact that there is no spectator mode. But good luck to all drivers in there on their fight for a championship as well. We've seen a lot of good racing so far tonight. We've seen a few wrong turns as well. Chase Greer making a move down to go to the low side. You saw that before the camera changed. Goes back up to the high side. Was just involved in that last caution. Trying to get some good position back on the field, but you don't want to do it too aggressive and too fast because it can bite you in the butt. Now, new leader on the night. One of the cars in the top 5 that hasn't touched it yet. We were talking about Corey Rainey in the number 4, trying to do what Tyler Reddick did in the same scheme and put it in victory lane. But Holloway and Picklesmeyer not going to let that happen. They're going to get a good draft run and get to the front of the pack there. Now putting Rainey back by a few seconds and a few car lengths. Getting pushed pretty good by Poston. On the low side right now. 88 going to go back up to the high side. A little bit of side draft, trying to make it work. Gets that lead back, but just barely. Now needs the line on the outside's draft to push him to the lead. He's getting it done right now by the 15 of Horst. 88 most likely going to go low as soon as he is clear here, unless that is a teammate. 15 still pushing. He's staying clear, trying to get that 15 behind him as well. No drop down so far. This is the view for the top 3 right now. Corey Rainey on the outside trying to make it work as best as possible. Not working too well for that high side. You see the ARN blimp cam in the sky. Beautiful view of the track and all cars in the pack right now. A lot of 2x2 racing. We haven't seen many 3 wides here tonight. I don't think we're going to expect too many 3 wides here tonight. Now Holloway in the lead, running on that high side. We've seen this high side make some crazy moves to get it to work. Will Holloway stay there? Will he go down? Corey Rainey decides he's going to make his own moves to get back to the front, go back down to the high side, now leading the lap, leading the pack again. Side by side comes Holloway. Rainey and Holloway fighting back and forth, changing the lead. High side going to get a good run. Holloway going to go back down, wrecking the back of the field with a 77. That is not the 77 this time. Might be the 6 of Brianna Lauren, and is. 7th caution of the night is going to be out. Brianna there just in front of the 71 of Yates. Looks like Yates gave it too much of a bump on that right rear quarter panel and sent Brianna Laurent right up into the wall, unfortunately, right in front of the 40. Once again, the 40 getting involved in another caution. Chase Greer not able to catch a break tonight. He has jumped his car to pits. See that left front tire not spinning at all. He might be too damaged to continue here tonight. While they go around and pit, we will go to a quick commercial break from our local affiliates here at Asphalt Racing Network. Do not touch that channel. We will be right back.
Every family deserves to have a winner. I think it should be you.
There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. You against you.
Everybody's great when they're not tired. The champions is when they tired, that's when the real champions come out. That's when that real dog come out. Because if you go piss like a puppy, stay on the porch and let the big dogs eat. Let them on the field. Have some heart.
That if you want some kind of a good outcome, you're going to have to work hard for it. And if you don't work hard for something, you're not going to get an outcome that's really worth much.
You're not only winning when things are going your way. You got to figure out how to win when things aren't going your way.
You know, when you're going through something really challenging, how do you show up within it? Do you choose to become a victim of complaining and misery, or do you find meaning in how you show up in the suffering, you know?
But you also have to disconnect, unplug average, and plug yourself into the mindset of a winner.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy.
Go do something that's hard. Go try and accomplish something that's hard. You may win, you may lose, you may succeed, you may fail. I'll tell you what, you'll be better.
Your biggest enemy is you. My whole book is about you battling yourself. People don't understand it's you against you. The only person that gets in your way is you. Nobody else. It's you.
A winner does more than expected every single time, no matter how they feel, no matter the circumstances. A winner shows up 10x times more than the average person.
And I'm telling you from the bottom of my soul, it is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their notifications because they can't stick with They can't say no.
You know, greatness is not meant for a few chosen people. It's meant for those who persistently pursue their dreams every day and make that choice when they wake up. So just a mentality, really.
If you avoid those things that are hard, if you don't accept that challenge, if you don't step up and step into that cold water, and you sit on your couch and eat Doritos, I can tell you this is not a good move. This is not a good move. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just get up. Move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. Move towards that challenge and go attack it.
Then you negotiate with your body to find more strength, but don't you give up on me, Brock. You keep going, you hear me? You keep going, you're doing good, you keep going. Do not quit on me, you keep going. It hurts! I know it hurts, you keep going. You keep going. It's all hard from here. 30 more.
We are back from commercial break, and that is right. It is Daytona week for all of our affiliates here on the Asphalt Racing Network. Schedule on screen right now. We are with ASCRL. Wednesday and Thursday will be right times run for Daytona Season 2 for the ARCA Series, Season 1 for the trucks on Thursday, and the Daytona 500 Season 3 debut for the Gen 6 cars right here on Twitch and on YouTube as well, Friday for the trucks and Saturday for Season 3 Gen 6 Cup cars. Be sure to make the races all week long. You're not gonna miss it. I promise you it's gonna be great racing action just like you're seeing right here, right now. Be sure to drop that follow here on the Asphalt Racing Networks Twitch page. I almost said Twitter. The Twitch page, and be sure to go ahead and jump over to YouTube and give Naris a follow as well. We appreciate all of you guys that have been watching with us so far. We are an hour and 41 into the broadcast, and it has been a great race so far. 7th caution of the night right now. We'll be going back to green just momentarily. We have had 20 laps of pacing, 15 lead changes. That is a big difference. We have had 10 lead changes since the last time we have checked recap, around lap maybe 30 it was. So it is a big move on the night. Corey Rainey made a crazy move before that last caution came out. It touched the lead for a few seconds, not able to hold it long. Now Holloway takes us back to green flag, that time by, excuse me. We have 32 more laps to go in the drive for Leukemia 250 here for the American Stock Car Racing League's Super Speedway Series. This is American Stock Car Racing League's first attempt at the iRacing division. So far, it has been a great race. Of course, there's going to be some drivers that beg to differ in certain areas of the track, but that is racing. It's not going to go green to green from flag to flag, and that's just something as a driver you have to understand. Of course, you're going to be a little bit more infuriated if you're inconsistent of those wrecks. One being the 40 of Chase Greer, who has had 0 breaks tonight. Unfortunately, is still in pits at this point in time and possibly might not be able to make it back out. Looking at that tower on the left-hand side, when it scrolls back through to that side, we might see an out report for him right now. The 726 of Matthews was out earlier. 25 of Mandaroo was out way earlier in stage 1. Then, of course, the 01 Wilson never started on the night. Not many cars a lap down now. I know Trevor Yates in the 71 is a lap down. The 77 of Leash is a lap down as well. Brandon Matthews in the 726, who is not with us anymore. But Greer still on the pits. Not out for the night. A lot of damage to take off, of course. Probably about 6 to 12 minutes of damage. It's a very unfortunate situation. But that is Super Speedway Racing. Pickelschmeyer about to have a run from Sam Taylor on the bottom. Not able to block it. They're going to be door to door right now. Line 1 and 2 getting a little wiggly there. Breland going to go to the outside. It was able to maintain it. Didn't cause a wreck there on either party. That high side run can get a little bit tricky with the draft. Seen a lot of wiggling from most of these cars right now, and that is normal with the draft track. You just don't want it to cause too much. A little bit of a bump there from the 31 of Poston on the 17 of Gibson, and that almost could have caused a wreck. Huge bump from the 9 of Taylor to Breland. Now that outside line churning. Gibson trying to get past. Not going to be able to. That low line is going to get a really good run and go door to door. Now Breland to the quarter panel of Pickelschmeyer is clear high. Has the lead, but won't have it for long. This high side has been getting a really good run on the straightaways, as we've seen so far here tonight. $28 more laps to go. This is where it's going to get squirrely, and you're going to see a lot of maneuvers that drivers have been holding in their sleeves. You just saw Sam Taylor with an incredible move there to clear 2 cars to put himself in the front of that outside pack. Now fighting Breland in a few more laps to get that lead. Horst is in that low line as well as your stage 1 winner, Zach Stevens. trying to get that lead back for himself. Breland has had the lead here earlier on the night, not new to leading this pack. He has currently led only 3 laps so far in completion as the leader. Going through the top 5 to see Horst has still not touched the lead at all for any laps. Horst is actually going to stay low and practically bumper lock Breland for a majority of these last few laps, and it's actually been helping that low line out pretty well. But Sam Taylor now on that outside trying to burn it and turn it back up high. You see he's led 18 laps, probably the most out of this top 5 so far right now. Noah Davis trying to make an advance on the bottom side, still has not touched the lead for himself. And now Picklesmeyer in 5th. He has led 17 laps of the race for himself tonight, so we have a lot of people within the top 5 that are capable of holding the entire pack behind them and not paying attention to their mirrors and worrying about what they need to do to possibly get that win. We're going to see this develop the longer this race goes on. 26 more laps of racing before we crown a Daytona 500 victor, and they get to lose their car to the Daytona Museum for the entirety of the season. 31 there with a really late block to get into the inside. That is Poston. No wreck happened that time. It is single file on the low line, and that's how it seems to be going for a majority of the rest of this race. Remember now, 19 to 23 laps was the fuel window. Unlimited tires, so that is not the problem here, but it is the fuel window for the leaders. It is going to be a really hard window to try to play dance around, really, as you don't want to hold the lead for too long, but you don't want to sit too far back. As we're seeing right now, especially with the 9 of Sam Taylor, it has been very difficult for him himself to get back up to the lead, even with this high line. You're seeing a 3rd line develop on the high side now. Only 2 cars within that line, but it is starting to get dicey, and a lot of cars are trying to make moves they haven't made earlier to get themselves in a good position. Most of these cars are probably trying to get themselves in a good position to avoid the wreck. Normally what they say, from 5 and up, you're good. From 5th and back, you could be in that wreck. Sometimes you'll see it with the leaders. It is not uncommon to see the leaders have a caution called on behalf of them, but it is only normally due to late blocks or a bad decision on a bump that wasn't squared to the center of that bumper, which then causes the car to get loose either to the high side or to the low side. Normally in these corners, on these embankments, they're gonna wash out to the high side. That's possibly why you haven't seen much of a high side run here early on. No one wanted to be involved in that early wreck. Only one fast repair. A lot of drivers on the track have already used it so far, and they're not wanting to use it if they haven't right now. Still 23 laps left in the race. Anything could happen. Lap 78 of 100 at this point in time. Incredible run we're seeing here from Horst now. Breland gets the lead back just barely. They are now side by side, consistently fighting for this lead for at least the last 10 laps of this green flag run. That low line has got the move. The high side cannot really keep it consistently, but you're seeing a lot of those guys are unable to keep it directly on the bumpers, and that's causing a lot of misfortune for that high side. See a lot of wiggling there, trying to make the counter move to what your opponent in front of you is doing, and it's not working out too well on their behalf. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to keep watching in side-by-side picture for our Twitch Premium subscribers. We will take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back in just 2.5 minutes.
Toyota has 3 NASCAR Cup teams. We got Team 2311, owned by this guy, and 3-time Daytona winner Denny Hamlin. But Denny Hamlin races for another team, Joe Gibbs Racing. Yeah, Super Bowl winning head coach Joe Gibbs. And they both share the track with Legacy Motor Club, co-owned by 7-time Cup champ Jimmy Johnson. 3 epic teams, 4 legendary owners, all going after 1 cup. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Hendrick.
Summer is here and you've got places to go.
She's headed to a golf tournament.
This one's headed to the beach.
And he's headed to a music festival.
And they know every good road trip starts right here.
At Hendrick Automotive Group.
We'll check your battery, tire pressure, top off your fluids,
Check your cooling system. And do a multi-point inspection.
extending the life of your vehicle. And keeping you safe anywhere you want to go.
For free.
Just make sure you're road ready. All good road trips start here.
Book your road ready appointment today at hendrickcars.com.
Last year, Ram killed the Hemi V8, and people had opinions. The same people that killed the Hemi sent me out here with these comments. That's not happening. We own it, we got it wrong, and we're fixing it. You hear that? That's our Hemi, and it's saying, I'm back.
Did he say what I think he said?
That thing's not a Hemi.
Hell yeah, it does.
You want more? Buckle up. Ram's coming back to NASCAR.
Let's go. We're back in America's motorsport. The Hemi's back, and we ain't going anywhere.
We are back. During that commercial break, we have actually had another caution come out there. We're going to go ahead and wind it back. We were playing it for our premium subscribers. See the number 1, the 88, the 23, and the 9 all involved that time by. We're going to go ahead and go to Picklesmeyer's point of view for that caution. Hit it in slow-mo here. You see the 18 comes up just a little bit. Gives that left rear quarter panel a bump, which broke loose the 88 into the 23. Sends the 9 looking down to the infield, and the checkup just continued. It caused a whole big pileup and a lot of wrecking. Caution out now. A lot of drivers in pits, and that could have just taken away a lot of green flag strategy. Eighth caution of the night. "22 laps so far have been done under caution. The 15 of Horst is your leader at that point in time of the caution. We have had 17 lead changes so far on the night. That is definitely a number that is not yet ready to be finished. The way we've been going, there's going to be a lot more lead changes before this race is over. Now, choose cone that time by Ethan Horst and Corey Rainey going to be starting in line 1. Noah Davis and Dalton Gibson are going to be in line 2 for this restart. Line 3 is going to Poston and Bourne. Line 4 is going to be Holloway and McRae. Line 5, 47 of Stevens. Your Stage 1 winner, Alan Hess in the 3, rounding out the top 10. Just outside of the top 10 is going to be Alessi in 11th place. Now, of course, pace truck lights are off, signaling we are going back to green flag racing, this time by on the 15 of Horst. Horst will lead us to the green. Pace truck is off. In the restart box, it is all on him. Green flag out, this time by Horst got a good jump there. Corey Rainey kind of left out high and dry. Everybody jumped down low. Noah Davis now in second. Dalton Gibson in third. Single file racing, 16 more laps here to go tonight. Now it's going to be 2 by 2. Dalton Gibson touches the lead for the first time tonight. That high side hasn't been a loving spot for leaders so far. They've not been able to hold it on that high line. Will Gibson be one of the first? A little break there. Had to go down low to avoid some contact. Did a good job not getting that contact. Now Corey Rainey in second place. Good spot to be on that low side. Low spot. Low side has had a lot of the advantage tonight, which is shocking because the high side really does normally win here. These drivers are praying it's going to be clean and green until the end. 14 more laps to go here. Gibson, your current leader. Gibson driving for Caddyshack Motorsports. Poston now takes the lead on the high side. High side starting to get the run. 1, 2, and 3 for Caddyshack Motorsports at this point in time. Corey Rainey going to rain on their parade. Pun intended. He's sitting in third now, breaking up the team pack. Poston still holding the lead and the control of the field. Biggest question of the night, who will get that advantage to hold the lead at the last lap? 12 more laps to go here. It is going to be a dog fight to the finish. High side starting to get it to work. They're trying to clean up that line, which gets that high side to move. You've seen a lot of negativity from some of the drivers due to that high side line. Everybody slowly trying to make it work now to a good advantage. Breland being the one that would get the lead if the high side can keep doing what they're doing right now. As it is and has been working. Crazy move from Holloway. Goes to the outside, trying to put himself in a good position there. Side by side, Holloway just barely gets the lead over Breland right now. Will he be able to hold it through the corner? Almost 3 wide there, across the line. We are officially back 2x2 racing with 10 more laps to go here. If you're still hanging around, it's not too late. Go ahead and drop your picks on who could possibly win this right now. With 10 more laps to go, if you're confident enough to make that call. Let's see if you got it in you. Once again, of course, we are Asphalt Racing Network, and we have just officially kicked off Daytona Speed Week across the board. All leagues firing back off this week. All at Daytona Super Speedway. American Stock Car Racing League is the first of 3. Right time will go green for Daytona Wednesday and Thursday of this week, the 4th and the 5th, if I am not mistaken. Then we will be back the 6th and the 7th for NARA's Cup and Truck Series. Poston in the lead right now. Holloway giving a really good fight, but now Breland going to be able to take the advantage. Getting a little wiggly on that high side, but nothing they cannot handle. The 21 of Holloway losing a little bit of time there on that high side. Nice, he post and make the move. Caution out in the backfield once again. Seems to be the 34 of Chris Perry this time. Let's go ahead to the action replay and see exactly what happened now. Chris Perry goes up to the high side, made it 3 wide. Was a tight gap to try to fit into, and unfortunately wrecked to the inside wall on the rear of the car. Hopefully not too much damage there. We'll go ahead and watch that one more time. See if we can get a good chase cam going here for all of y'all. He goes up 3 wide here. Had enough room. The 97 just came up and tapped him on that left rear quarter panel. Sent him right down. Nose first into another competitor. And here he goes spinning out to the inside wall. Crazy, crazy move there. Cameraman needs to get fired. He won't on point for that one. And here is Joshua Riddle's view. Managed to save it. Save of the century. No damage for him that time. Chris Perry now rejoining the field. Josh Riddle still in pits. Leader at this point in time, Gary Breland. Todd Poston is going to be in second place for this restart. Daniel Holloway in third. Dalton Gibson holding fourth pretty strong. And rounding out your top five, someone who hasn't been up here much tonight, it's going to be the 44 of Jeffrey Bourne. Sitting just outside of the top five is going to be the 15 of Ethan Horst. Corey Rainey holding down seventh pretty strong right now. You've seen him make some good, clean moves to get up to the lead. Noah Davis in eighth place with Robert McRae in ninth. Stephen Alessi rounding out your top 10 pack. Alessi just barely made it through that wreck too, before it got a little too dodgy for most people's liking. I believe Jeff and Corey Rainey are teamed up. As now we will be at Choose Cone. Breland staying to that low side. .31 of Poston going to be going up high. Line 1 is going to be the line to watch. They control the restart of this race. Ninth caution of the night right now. Drivers praying it's the last one. We are at lap 95 and about a quarter. 9 cautions right now for 26 laps under the yellow flag. 21 lead changes in total. That has gained at least another 5 since the last time we have checked. Breland, your current leader in a lone Toyota within the top 10. Looking at the manufacturers on your tower, it has been a Chevy dominant night. Chevy still holds a lot of spots within the top 10, but Toyota really prevailing right now with Todd Poston, Gary Breland in the 1 spot. The next Toyota you see in the field is Zach Stevens, your stage 1 winner, but he is all the way back in 14th place. Chase Greer, unfortunately, in pits, done most likely for the night as he has not came out yet, was the other Toyota back on track fighting against a sea of Chevy manufacturers. Barely any Fords in the field. Brandon Matthews was in a Ford. Josh Riddle still in a Ford. Rainey, Jeffrey, Bourne, Holloway, and Poston are the only Fords in the field, so a heavy outnumber, which is kind of what we expected. Now the pace truck turning off one more time. Poston taking us to green flag in the box. Good jump there for Poston holding the lead, but now Breland gonna get it. Holloway in second. Horst in third. Bourne in 4th place. And they're about to start making a lot of moves to that outside, trying to get that outside line to work. But it can be very detrimental at this point in time in the race. 1 and 2 bumper locked going into the corner. That could cause a wreck. You're seeing that high line start to develop. The 44, Jeffrey Bourne, leading it on the outside, making a lot of time back up to these leaders, but he's got to clean that line up and hold it down. The 4-car teammate of Corey Rainey helping wreck behind. Another caution out. Todd Poston involved in that wreck. You just saw a little bit of that wreck on screen. We're going to go ahead and watch it one more time in slow-mo, see exactly what happened. The 17 came down, tapped the 8. The 8 came up into Poston and sent him infield bound. No damage on the car, but definitely a flat spot on those tires. Put it in reverse, Terry, and rejoin the field. Right now, Poston still on the track in 17th place. Gary Breland, your leader at that time of the caution. He will remain the leader at that time, as the pace truck is now joining the field as we go to a possible overtime. A tough situation to be in at the end of the race, too. That is going to hurt their odds of possibly getting the win here, as now Poston is sitting back in 31st. You got to wonder if pits are going to actually be used this time around. We will see. We see a few people possibly going in. Might be a fake. Leaders are signaling they're going in and faked out the pit entry. Two people in pits. 3, 4 looks to be in pits this time. That is going to be Tyler Hurt, Poston, Alessi, Perry still in pits. Picklesmeyer as well still in pits. Smeyer's been in pits for at least 9 minutes so far. Like I said, most of those guys involved in that little bit of an accident right there, their odds of possibly getting this win are most likely out of their grasp for the night. Breland, Holloway, Horst, Bourne, and Rainey are your top 5 at this point in time. It's looking to be a good situation that they are finding themselves in right now. As long as it goes their way for the rest of these laps, they could actually make it work. Now, of course, this time past the line will be Choose Cone Breland, going to stay on the bottom. So what it looks like is where he's been restarting all night. Holloway going to move to the top side. Line 1. Breland and Holloway. Horst and Bourne in 2. Davis and Rainey in 3. This is where tempers can fly and some of the aggression can come out. Definitely, excuse me, definitely not a caution you want to see here late on in the race, but it happens. It is racing. It'll never be perfect, and you can't expect it to be perfect. This time by, we will be green in the restart zone. Pace truck will be off this time by. Here we go. Breland takes us back to green. 3 more laps to go. Green, white, checkered. If they make it to the white flag, no more cautions can seal the deal on this race. It is a long single file on the bottom line. Top line not getting too much of a run here right now. Breland and Bourne side by side right now. Who's going to get the position? Bourne trying to fight. Rhodes in the one car pushing from behind. Bourne trying to use that side draft to get the advantage and get low. There's going to be a wreck in the backfield again. White flag. Will the caution come out? Caution not going to be thrown that time for the white flag. Jeffrey Bourne currently in the lead on the high side. 3 more turns to go. Will he dive down or will he stay with that high side run? High side has a good run. Jeffrey's going to go low. The one of Rhodes also follows. Got to watch the run. Got to block where need. Do not wreck. There's another wreck in the backfield. No caution. Last lap. Bourne to the line. Wrecking Rhodes side by side. A little bit of contact. It's going to be a close call to the finish. Christian Rhodes gets the win just by a few thousandths of a second. Slightly Dangerous Racing's Christian Road gets the first win of the season with an insane finish as well. We're going to go back to that checkered flag and see exactly what happened. Get you a good camera here. There was the first wreck of the race. Last wreck to the line. And I mean an insanely close finish. An insanely close finish. This is the move that led Rhodes to get the lead. Milliseconds. See if we can get a literal photo finish here for you guys. Nose to nose. Just barely beats him. Nose to nose. Insane finish with an insane burnout and an amazing track. What a great race. Of course, Christian Rhodes just barely takes the win by a thousandth of a second. Jeffrey Bourne will finish in second. Ethan Horst in third. With Daniel Holloway in fourth. McCrae in fifth place. Poston in sixth. Gibson finishing in seventh. Tyler Hurt in eighth. Alan Hess in ninth, and Matt Banky rounding out your top 10 on the night. Now, of course, for everybody new tuning in, we do top 3 finishers. We're going to go ahead and get in Ethan Horst first. Hear from him. Dalton, if you're watching, I cannot drag anybody. I can only move a VC. We should have tested this first. But hey, look, that's happened. This happens. It's live broadcast, and if we can get me the permissions to pull somebody in here, I'd appreciate it. Hey, he pulled me in. He pulled you in for me. That's even better. We're going with the winner first. So, Mr. Rhodes.
Yes, sir.
First off, insane finish. I don't know if you were able to look up at the big screen for that replay. You were barely thousandths of a second in front of the 44 of Jeffrey Bourne on the outside.
Yeah, it looked like just the splitter, the edge of the splitter ahead. It's crazy looking at the line. I wasn't sure if I got it when we were coming to the line. I was trying to side draft him as much. He threw a couple blocks, and I was just trying to side draft him and pull him back, and I wasn't sure at the line what it was.
Well, of course, you were awarded that win. So congratulations on the Daytona 500 inaugural race here. What a great win to start a season for you. Not too bad of a night. You did start in fourth place. You managed to stay in the top 5, of course, get the win. How did you kind of feel like that was still in grasp with as many cautions as we had earlier on the night? Or did you kind of feel like it was slowly but surely fading out the more and more cautions came out? Of course, it kind of killed the fuel strategy on green flag pits. Didn't really see much of that. But, how did you feel about the racing that we saw on the track tonight?
Yeah, racing was good. My boys in Slightly Dangerous Racing, we were up front most of the race, got a lot of stage points, and we were trying to control the race, and we were trying to control for green flag pit stops, which did not really happen any because all the cautions. Then I ended up having to use a fast repair on like lap 30 or 40, and it seemed like the outside lane would run and then die. I wasn't really sure if we were going to keep moving or not. And then coming down to like 10 to go, I was sitting back in like 10th or 9th place, just like, oh man, I don't know if I can get up there if the lines don't start moving. And it luckily worked out in our favor.
Now, of course, a lot of super speedway still to go here, as it is a super speedway league. This does give you the momentum going forward, of course, into next week. Now being the first one to claim a win, having to go back. Do you feel like you have the opportunity to go back-to-back weeks, or at least possibly the team go back-to-back?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our team guys and I, we work really well. We do super speedway leagues, and so definitely want to take the momentum and try to stay up front and control what we can control, and definitely get our team some wins. Definitely a huge momentum boost, getting the first win of the season.
Now, we saw the track was about 80% humidity. There was zero wind here tonight, which was probably a lot better for you guys, especially with the downforce in these next-gen cars. A lot of wind does really mess with these cars too much. Did you feel like the track rubber kind of was the track rubber affecting that top line, or do you feel like it was just everybody trying to make counter moves to the opponents in front and behind of them?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of guys that were in the top lane weren't getting down and side drafting. Some guys on the bottom lane were coming up a little bit, so maybe that was playing a factor into it. But a lot of guys in the top lane didn't want to get down and side draft the car on the inside and kind of pull them back so the outside lane could surge. But a couple of us started doing that, and that really helped the outside lane.
Now, of course, going into this race, every super speedway, any restrictor plate is really a lottery race. Did you feel like you guys had that strategy to put yourself or the team, at that position to get that win, or do you feel like it kind of just it really fell into your favor with those last 3 laps with that green white checkered?
A bit of both. I mean, there's a bit of luck getting involved in there and what lane you decide to be in that ends up going. Because if we all knew what lane was going to go, we'd all choose it. But so a bit of luck, but there was definitely some strategy of getting up front and staying up front that we were trying to implement. And so I guess a mixed bag of both there.
Now, of course, you are the first one to be able to do it. We always do something on the Asphalt Racing Network, and that is asking our interviewer before they go and celebrate their top 3 victory, or for your situation, the first win. If you have any shout outs you'd like to give to any fans, friends, family, or anybody that's watching at home.
Yeah, first of all, big shout out to everyone in the league, the admins, the host, everyone who puts this together for us to come race. And then big shout out to you for broadcasting it, making us look good, making some great calls. Can't wait to go back and watch some of it. Big shout out for the missus for letting me do this. And big shout out to my teammates at Slightly Dangerous.
Well, of course, Mr. Rhodes, congratulations on the first victory here tonight. I'm going to have to get the American Rhodes theme song played up for you. I think that I'm going to keep that as your win anthem going forward. Get some Kingdom Down straight for you rolling next time. Congratulations on your win. We hope to possibly see you in victory lane many more times than just here tonight. And of course, good luck to you going forward with the rest of the season.
I appreciate it, boss. Can't wait to talk to you when I win again. So I'm looking forward to that one.
You have a good one.
You too.
That was our race winner, the number 1 with the dominant manufacturer, that being Chevy on the night, Christian Rhodes. Now we're going to move over to our next interviewer, that being Jeffrey Bourne, The second place finisher that kind of fell awry just at the end there. Now, Mr. Bourne, you were doing pretty good at the end stages of that race to pull yourself up to a really good position. You started 16 positions back from where you finished tonight, all the way back in 18th place. You were able to move yourself up as far as second place, had the lead there, what looked to possibly be the win. Kind of take us through those last few laps and how you feel the race played out.
Yeah, that race was nuts. I noticed during the race that the people who were leading the high line would cut down and lead the low line, and then the next person in the high line would just do the same thing. So I learned throughout the race that if the high line got me there, I was going to stick it out. That's why I was clear on the backstretch of the low line. The high line got me there, so I couldn't leave it. And then coming through the trioval, I couldn't. It's not in me to drive dirty, so he got beside me and we got real close, and he side drafted me just enough to get me by what, half an inch.
Literally like just a splitter, thousandths of a second on a finishing time.
Yeah,
now,
I couldn't have made it all the way up there without my teammate. Corey was on it. He was leading behind me. He was telling me, make this move, go, go, go.
I was about to say, you are one of 3 teams with only 2 competitors on the track, a heavy disadvantage, especially at a restrictor plates, especially with this being a super speedway league. It is a very big disadvantage. Of course, having to work with a lot more people around you, or just praying that they're going to work with you. You know, Quack Pack Racing, Breland, we've seen him in the front a lot, Chris Perry, and then, of course, Winnie Hutt Jr. Racing with McRae and Jeremy James are the only other 2 teams with 2 drivers. Did you kind of feel like at any point in time that it could have been a little bit more of a disadvantage coming in with only 2 teammates? Or did you feel like you were really having to rely on a lot of the cars around you to work together to get you up to that spot?
At the beginning of the race, I definitely thought it was a disadvantage, but once I finally got near the front, I learned that I don't know exactly what team it is, but the 21 and the 31 who are also in Fords, I mean, you run with what you got, right? So when they were there, I was pushing them and staying with them as long as I could.
Now, I did notice that you were working with Candy Shack Motorsports a lot later on into the stages of the race after you maneuvered yourself around. They also were in a little bit of a advantage. They started a lot higher on the field than you did. Now, with you having to work your way from the back, do you kind of feel like you knew how to navigate that track by that stage 2, maybe halfway mark? I mean, you saw a lot of cautions come out, a lot of wrecks happen that were avoidable, some were not avoidable. Do you feel like that kind of gave you that opportunity of watching how everybody raced from the back of the pack perspective on what you needed to do to get up to that front to get that lead?
Yeah, it definitely did. I could see the runs. I could learn how the runs progressed and exactly what the people were doing in the lanes. Like I said earlier, like when a person in the high line would get clear of the low line, they would just jump down, and then the high line would just go again. So the whole race, I just tried to stay committed to that high line as much as possible because the momentum up there was crazy. The checkups from, obviously the drafting were a little sketch at points, but it made you learn how to control your run a little bit more and just be more aware of the cars around you. So it definitely was a learning process the whole race, but when it came down to the end, I felt pretty confident in what I did, even though I came up just a little bit short.
Oh, I didn't have my audio on. Now, of course, we have multiple more super speedways to get through. This being in the books, do you feel like you have that possibility to come back next week and try to pull that rabbit back out of that hat with that last lap strategy to get that win, maybe by thousandths of a second on somebody else this time?
I sure hope so. That was mighty heartbreaking when I came to the line because I literally thought that I had won it, and then I looked down at my relative and it said second, and I was like, I was heartbroken for that one. But I am definitely excited for next week, and hopefully next week we can change it around a little bit and have the 4 and the 44 for RVR up here, and hopefully we can control our own destiny next week.
Well, of course, you're pretty accustomed to this, being that you are one of the owners of Ride Time Racing League. With your second place finish in the books, before we let you go, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody watching?
Yeah. Anybody that is watching Wednesday and Thursday nights, we have ARCA and trucks. I want to shout out my teammate once again tonight, Corey Rainey for RVR. I would like to shout out Aaron Wright from Right Time and all my amazing admin that helped me. David Callahan, Vicky Stewart, Matt Binky, Mark Morton. If I'm forgetting anybody, I apologize. And I'd also like to shout out Jordan Parker because Saturday I will also be in the Norris Daytona 500. So hopefully sometime this week, considering I have a bunch of races, I can make up by one spot.
Well,
and also shout out to the best broadcaster in the business, to you, Mr. T-Bone.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. I look forward to seeing what the rest of this week is going to entail because we have a lot of guys that are in multi-leagues now, and I get to call each one of those races and spite you guys for where you messed up the worst. So hopefully you'll be able to get the win in four other opportunities possibly before we come back here next week. But of course, congratulations on your second place finish. I know it wasn't the first you were looking for, but still a good takeaway from where you started tonight. We look forward to talking to you, hopefully, in first place finish again here in ASCRL. And good luck to you and your team for the rest of the season.
Thank you, and hopefully, like I said, this is not the last time I'll be talking to you this week in the booth.
We'll have to find out.
Stay tuned.
And of course, that is our second place finisher, Mr. Jeffrey Bourne. You heard him, co-owner of Right Time ARCA Series on Wednesdays and Thursdays, all affiliates of the Asphalt Racing Network. And now we only have one more person to interview, that being the third place finisher, the number 15 of Ethan Horst. Hopefully I've pronounced your name correct all night.
Yes, you did. That's surprising.
There's probably like 6 others I've butchered, but at least the one I have to interview tonight is correct. So that's a takeaway.
Thank goodness.
So you made pretty good moves to finish up in the top 3. You started about 11th place earlier on in the grid position from qualifying. It was a long fight all night to keep a position and even make positions. How do you feel about not only your racing, but the racing that was around you throughout the entirety of the night?
I think there's some good and some bad for sure. A little cleaning up in some areas, but a lot of good. I think. Good drivers, clean drivers, safe drivers. A lot of people I learned I could trust really quickly. These cars are hard to pass and make positions, like you said, but once the shuffling of the lines started happening, as long as you could make some good quick calls, a lot of times you could work your way up front and read runs and stuff. But we didn't have a lot of pit strategy tonight, which I was kind of looking forward to, but it seemed to work out.
Now, of course, we go through a multitude of cars between the trucks, the Xfinity, the Arcas, the next gens that we're currently in for tonight. I feel like the next gens are about the hardest when it comes to draft. They are very fast. The downforce on them is very, very, like, it is very tight to the ground. Do you feel like a lot of that draft really affected most of the cautions that came out tonight, or do you feel like it was just too much bumping due to the draft that caused a lot of those cautions?
I think a lot of it probably comes down to a little bit of inexperience in some. Really, a lot of us, I know me for sure, I had to shake a lot of rust off tonight, and these cars are very draggy, and I think a lot of people trying to make quick moves to gain positions, like when a small hole opens up, or they misread a run or something. You have to move in those instances to make the to make the ground up, but a lot of times, you can misjudge it pretty easily. So I think a lot of those cautions were caused due to the aero effects of the car forcing people to make moves when they thought they could. And a lot of it, I think, is just hard racing. Maybe too soon at times, but a lot of it was hard racing and definitely some aero effects.
Now, of course, it was a difficult journey, not only just for you to hold the position, but for a lot of other people to even gain spots. We asked the winner earlier, did you feel like that high line was just due to the high line disadvantage at a lot of times up until about that last few two cautions? Do you feel like that was more of the debris buildup on track, or do you feel like that was just the downforce and not being able to hold that line consistently? Because we've seen multiple times tonight that Highline had a lot of good runs, but we didn't see a leader hold that Highline for too long.
I felt, especially early in the run, that the car kind of glided on the pavement up in that lane, especially the higher up you went. It's just that low line is just so much more comfortable. And in my opinion, it's a lot easier to push and be pushed in that line. And I think the lines are just easier to maintain. I think there's definitely a lot more opportunity to build speed in that high lane. It's just you got to have 3 or 4 cars who are really committed and can, coordinate that pushing and drafting just nearly perfectly with that little less grip that you have up there. And I think it's just really hard to do. And that's why I think a lot of people were nervous just hopping out of the safe, comfortable line and getting into that more challenging, line up until, it was do or die. Like you said, there were those last few cautions when people were trying to get up to win the race. That's when, everyone went, balls to the wall up there.
Now, of course, we are still in the next gens next week, next Monday on the 9th, going to Talladega. Do you feel like you possibly could pull out that win there compared to what we've seen here tonight? Like you said, you had to knock the rust off in a lot of areas you didn't know still had rust. But now that you've raced with a lot of the competition around you that will be returning next week, do you feel like you know what maneuvers you need to take now and who you need to drive and how you need to drive them that could possibly, get you that win going forward next week?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely, a few drivers out there I know who I can trust a little more. I was a little cautious tonight. Some of these guys, or a lot of these guys, really, I've never raced with before. Some of them I have, but it's just kind of feeling them out, feeling the pack out, seeing how they're going to behave in certain scenarios. Talladega is a lot different in that you can a lot more comfortably run 3 lanes, and even sometimes 4 if you're really daring. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more room for actually making moves, which will be a huge difference than tonight, because tonight you have to be a lot more strategic with your options, I think. But at Talladega, you get a little more leniency, and so I think it's a lot more forgiving to take chances and things there as long as you have a little help. So yeah, I think I can take what I learned tonight, and I think I can go into next week with a lot of optimism. But at the end of the day, it is still super speedway racing, and there still is a lot of carnage that you can't control.
Well, of course, you finished in 3rd. You didn't get that win you were possibly looking forward to tonight. I still say it's a net positive on the night from where you started earlier off your lone qualifying session. Of course, before we let you go, we always like to ask here on Asphalt Racing Network if you had any shout outs you would like to give to anybody before we let you enjoy the rest of your Monday night.
Yeah, for sure. I want to thank my teammates Grayson and Noah. Grayson got wrecked out real early, and he ended up staying on to help spot us for the rest of the race, which I attribute a lot of what happened to me tonight to him. He was able to make some good calls and help me get through a lot of tough spots. And Noah was there helping me in the draft and helping me stay in line and giving me good shoves and pushes. And unfortunately, I think he got turned around or something there pretty late, but he was a huge help to me tonight. And without them two, I probably wouldn't have made it, right? This is all about teamwork. I want to thank the other admins, the fellow admins who have put in a lot of work already to making this happen, setting this all up, especially Dalton for all the hard work he's done. This is so exciting, hearing the news about it and, getting to actually do the first race. It was so cool. And I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. I want to thank everyone who came out to drive. It's not as much fun unless we have drivers, and everyone who came out and drove tonight, you did a great job. And I'm looking forward to competing with you. I'd like to thank everyone who runs this channel, this Discord. I'd like to thank you for broadcasting. I hear you're really good, and the broadcast is really high quality. And yeah, I believe that's everyone. So yeah, just thanks for the opportunity, and hopefully I'll be back up here a time or two.
Well, congratulations on your top 3 finish. We look forward to seeing what not only you, but your team is going to be able to do with the rest of the races we have this season, spanning across multi different cars, trucks, generations. So congrats on your top 3 finish. I wouldn't take it as a loss. I would just take it as a comeback harder next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. You have a good one.
Hey, you too. Thank you so much.
And thank you. And that was our 3rd place finisher, Ethan Horst, in the 15. Started off in 12th, made a good run to get back in the top 3, but unfortunately wasn't good enough to get that win. But of course, we still have a lot of racing left to go. Next week, we're going to Talladega, still in the next gen cars. Then the next 2 weeks after that, we will move to the Truck Series. Then the Generation 4 Cups cars. Go to Xfinity for the first time. Then we go to Gen 6 before we touch our playoff bracket. So we still have a lot of good racing with a lot of high competition spanned through the rest of this season. It is going to be an insane race to watch on a weekly basis. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and or followed to the channel. Of course, this is our broadcast schedule, American Stock Car Racing League, where we are at right now every Monday, 9:05, 9:15 for the green flag. Right Time ARCA Series on Wednesdays, the Truck Series on Thursdays, and the NARAS Cup and Truck Series will be a multi-stream here on Twitch and on YouTube at the same time. The Truck Series hits the first green flag lap at about 8:45 this Friday for the inaugural first season, and the season 3 debut at Daytona 500 for the Gen 6 cars will be this Saturday. And I promise you, you guys don't want to miss the opportunity. Be sure to check us out. There's a lot more racing to do. But before we end it for the night, we're going to go back to the live leaderboard and show you one more time the finishing results. Christian Rhodes gets the win over literally a 1,000th of a second split to the second place finisher of Jeffrey Bourne. Ethan Horst finished in 3rd. Holloway rounding out the 4th spot with McRae finishing in the top 5. Poston finishing in 6th with Dalton Gibson in 7th. Tyler Hurt in 8th. Alan Hess in 9th and Matt Banky in 10th. There were a lot of wrecks that have happened tonight, but it was all for the greater good of racing. You're never going to get a green flag run through and through, as you should not expect it. Things do happen. Mistakes are made, and it is always a situation that you have to watch unfold. Of course, thank you guys for everybody that is tuned in for the first time here. for following American Stock Car Racing League. We appreciate your patronage. If you have donated to that GoFundMe link that is still pinned in chat, we do appreciate any donation from the bottom of our hearts. It is a very heartfelt situation that they are fighting for Bristol at this point in time. That link will be available throughout every broadcast we have. That will not go away until that goal is hit. It is not just here for ASCRL. That is a little girl fighting her battle with leukemia. So if you have not been able to donate tonight, you will be able to donate at a later date. As long as this channel is live, that link will be posted there. Of course, on behalf of ASCRL, we thank you guys for tuning in to the live broadcast, and we hope you return to catch us back live next time. Until then, we hope you have a good morning, a good evening, and good night.